In this session, we are going to look at certain basic concepts required to understand MRP. So, to begin with, let us see where MRP is most commonly used. MRP is usually used in the context of products that are assembly in nature. For example, think of tables. Tables consist of legs, a table top, drawer and other parts. These parts are put together as an assembly to make a final product. Likewise, you can think of products like fans, cars. These are all assembly in nature. When we are talking about where MRP is mostly used, we also should think of the context where probably products are not assembly in nature. Just think of them. I just give you a kind of lead. Think of a petroleum refinery. You have crude oil as input and there are different products that come out of it as petrol, diesel, aviation petrol. There are several other products which come in. In effect, we are disaggregating or disassembling an input product into final products. Certainly, this is not an assembly in nature. Are there any other examples? Think of them. It is not that MRP cannot be used there, but the way it has to be used is slightly different. But in this kind of sessions, we do not talk about it, but this is just a thought. I would leave it with you. So, we are talking about products assembly in nature. Just for fun, let us take the example of making a car. Now, we are really talking about making a toy car so that we do not get the complexity of the real world, but still get the clear understanding of the concept. So, our toy car consists of, let us say, 4 wheels, 2 axles, 1 chassis and a body. Now, how do you think a toy car like this in a simplest form is made? One wildest imagination that one can think of is get all these parts in a gunny bag and shake it up, and lo behold, a car is made. Mind you, technologically it is possible that you can use some kind of magnets or whatever, so that they just fall in place and get assembled. But in real life, probably that is not the way to do. So, what is the option? How do you think a car is made? It is made systematically by progressively adding the parts, and that is what we will see now, how we make a car. So, look at this slide and see how pictorially we can depict making a car. To begin with, let us say I take the rear axle and take 2 wheels and assemble them to make a rear axle assembly. Likewise, I can take front axle and 2 more wheels, assemble them to make front axle assembly. Now, we have rear axle and we have a front axle. Now, what is required? I have to put a chassis so that these axles can be put together. So, I brought the chassis. So, these 3 put together, what did I get? A chassis assembly. So, what is it we have now? A chassis, a rear axle with 2 wheels and a front axle with 2 wheels. So, on this chassis assembly, I have to put the body, right. So, I bring in the body. So, once I put the body in it and I have to put it together, lo behold, the car is made. So, this is how, as pictorially we have depicted how a car is made, starting from low end items like rear axle, front axle, wheels, and then chassis, then put the body and then put the car, right. So, this form of representation of a product is called tree structure form of bill of material. It is a tree structure, maybe a funny way of looking at a tree structure, it is uprooted, you have one basic root like car and then we have shown all the items coming down. So, this bill of material notion, what it used to exist earlier was mostly as in a list form, a complete list of all raw materials and bought out finished items put together, maybe indicating how much quantity per set I need, and preferably including how much, what is the price of each of the parts, and some kind of indication of vendors where I can procure it from. But such a list of bill of material is at best useful for procurement people or costing people, but it does not give us the manufacturing detail. This tree structure form of bill of material, what we have seen just now, it shows all the items, how they are assembled. So, look at these two, it is indicating the items we are doing and how it is assembled also. As a matter of convention, wherever quantity per unit of next assembly is 1, we do not show it, default is 1, otherwise we show the default value. For example, when 2 wheels are required, we were showing the quantity in bracket as 2. If this is one form of showing a bill of material, what are the other forms? One is called, goes into, it is a matrix form, another can be indented form. The purposes of these forms are different depending on the purpose for which you are using this bill of material. Well, we will not go into the detail, we are just trying to show to you in what other forms can I depict a bill of material.